Welcome to the Muncie Sanitary District meeting for March 19th, 2025. We will call to order and stand by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We do have one excused absence. Our president, Adam Leach, is on training out of town. We will now go to public comment. If anyone from the public would like to speak, you'll have 3 minutes to do so. If you're interested in speaking, please come to the podium. Seeing none, we will go to the consideration of the March 5th, 2025 board minutes. Does anyone from the board have any corrections or concerns with the minutes?
None for me.
None.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right. A motion to approve in a second. All in favor of approving the board minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove, say nay. And our board minutes are approved. Next, we'll move on to the registration. Are there any comments from anyone on the board regarding any expenditures the past couple weeks?
None for me.
None for me.
Okay. Consider a motion to approve the register of claims.
Motion to approve.
Second motion.
All right. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And we pass our register of claims. Next is our district administrator update. Mr. Rick Conrad.
Good morning. Rick Conrad, District Administrator. Got a few updates today. First, I want to kind of acknowledge a near tragedy we almost had this weekend at our pollution control facility, where we had a leak in a pipe that was, I would say, in the most unfortunate place it could possibly be, but thanks to our crew out there, Jason Ingram, our plant superintendent, and Sean Bowden out of plant maintenance, they got this corrected very quickly. I know we talked about it in some detail. I won't go into the details of it because it's not very interesting, other than to say that it's a very nervous place to have an issue, and glad we have that now resolved. I want to mention that starting April 1st, we are going to be including a security deposit for all new connections to the sanitary district. It'll be $135 for any new connections. That money will go back, of course, when anyone gives their notice that they're ready to disconnect, but it'll help protect us from some of our outstanding bills for late payment or non-payment. So again, just for new users, we will be starting that security deposit. Last year we talked quite a bit about the levee tieback project and how we were working with the Army Corps of Engineers to begin that. We're still awaiting approval from them, but things are moving along fairly well, and I imagine that we will begin some construction beginning in April of the tieback levee. I still think things look positive, but it's been a long, slow process. But this will be the first of a few projects that we're doing on the levee, which protects, I believe, 800 separate buildings and homes. Earlier this week, we conducted our annual stormwater training for our department heads. This is work that's required by the state, and stormwater's become one of the leading causes of pollution, and it's really just a matter of making sure that our departments are all responsible for anything that might run off into a stream or ditch. And they call it good housekeeping, and I think that's a really good summary for what the work is. But I did want to acknowledge Courtney Pruitt and Laura Boley, who gave the presentation. They did a great job, as always. We will eventually have all of our employees going through that training too, and it'll be done annually. And with the size of the facilities and the work that we do, it's good that we're focused on that. We've got the potential for a big impact on water quality, so it's a good program. And I also want to mention, we're going to have Shred Your Files Week. That will start on April 21st and run through April 25th at the sanitation building. That is 701 East Centennial Avenue. The hours will be 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., but the public can bring documents if they want anything shredded, and we'll make sure that gets recycled, and you can get a receipt for anything that's turned in if you need that as well. And that is it for my update. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to address them.
All right, Aaron, any questions?
No questions. Thank you, Rick.
Stephen?
Can I get the dates for the shared file again?
Yeah, April 21st
Uh-huh.
to April 25th,
Okay,
8 a.m. to 1 p.m.
thank you. So,
David?
No questions. Thank you, Rick.
And just a big shout out to Jason in catching that before it got really, really bad. That could have been a phase 1 emergency, and so the river thanks you, and Anderson especially thanks you. All right, thank you, Rick. All right, we don't have a department head update today, nor old business, but that does bring up our new business, the professional service contract between Lockmuller Group Incorporated and MSD, and that brings back Mr. Rick Conrad.
This service contract is for Lockmuller, and it will be primarily to address what we're calling the Kilgore Interceptor. This is all part of what the district is calling our long-term control plan to address combined sewer overflows. This is the federally mandated but unfunded project. This is probably going to tie up a lot of our work for the next 10 years or so as we try and wrap this up. The anticipated amount for the work is $4.72 million. Not approving any payments today, just accepting the agreement to work with Lockmuller on this specific long-term control plan project. And if there are any questions, we do have some representatives from Lockmuller here today.
Aaron, any questions?
I think mine would be just at what stage are we in this planning process? Are we committed to a certain open dig? Or are we thinking about a bore? I'm just wondering where we're at and if this is just the planning process.
Very preliminary.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very lots of work yet to be done. I don't think they'll have a specific design probably till the end of the year.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
All right.
Lots of room for discussion and looking at different alternatives for how to most effectively address the interceptor.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Stephen?
I don't have anything.
David?
No questions for me on this.
And just for the public, the sanitary district partners with outside companies that have expertise in doing sewer separation. And so we're partnering with this company to handle one of our CSOs that has to be separated per EPA order. All right, any other discussion? If not, I'll hear a motion to approve the contract.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no. That gives us our service contract with Lockmuller. Number 2 is a professional service contract between American Structure Point Incorporated and MSD.
And this is very similar. This is for American Structure Point, and they will specifically be addressing CSOs 23 and CSO 7. They'll be working on the design to completely separate and close those CSOs. Again, this is for the long-term control plan. CSO 23, they're estimating the amount to be $1 million, and for CSO 7, their estimate is $1.5 million. So the agreement is for a total of $2.5 million of anticipated work.
Aaron, any questions?
No questions. Thank you, Rick.
And Stephen?
I have none.
And David?
No questions.
And this is similar to the contract we just approved, but in another area of town and another CSO. All right, any motions to approve the contract?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no. And that approves our second contract, 4-0. This brings up the professional service agreement between Ice Miller LLP and MSD.
All right, we're moving along at a nice orderly path here. So the 2 prior agreements, we have one that was approved earlier this year That one was for Greeley and Hansen, or T.Y. Lin, for upgrades at the water pollution control facility. Now that we have these three engineering firms under an agreement to help with the long-term control plan, we now have a total estimated cost for their work of roughly $11 million, and the next step is to secure a bond counsel agency, which would be Ice Miller, and they will then help us secure the bond anticipation notice, which will help pay for these projects. So this agreement is to make sure all of that work is done legally and efficiently.
Any questions, Aaron?
No questions, thank you.
Stephen?
Nope, no questions.
David?
No questions.
And the first two were helping with actual construction. This is a company that helps us with getting the bonds and make sure we do that legally. Any motions to approve the contract?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no? And that gives us this contract 4-0. Which brings us to our fourth and final agreement today, scope agreement between Baker Tilly Municipal Advisors and MSD.
And yes, this is the final orderly step here. So Baker Tilly has been working with us for the last year and maybe a little bit longer on our financials. They help us with the rate increase. And then their role in this process will be not only figuring how the bands fit in, but also making sure we can pay for them efficiently. So the last step is to add this scope to their assignments so that they can then work with our bond counsel and the engineering firms to make sure that we are getting these paid off.
Any questions, Aaron?
This is agreement to their standard hourly rates, is that right, Rick?
Correct, yes. No total amount, just a rate.
All right. Stephen?
I have nothing.
David?
No questions.
Okay. I think, just kind of summarizing what Rick said, that this agreement basically helps us provide proof that we can pay back the bonds that we're about to borrow. So, anyone make a motion to approve this agreement with Baker Tilly?
Motion to approve.
A second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That gives us this agreement 4-0. Thank you very much, Rick.
Rick, you put together a really good team of professionals. Well done.
Very appreciated. Okay, additional board topics. Aaron?
No new topics.
And Stephen?
No, sir?
David?
Just like to comment, approximately a year ago, all of our departments, we updated our emergency operations plans. And with the little incident we had on Saturday, just proves that those plans are very effective and they do work. So I do want to acknowledge Jason and his crew out there. Kilgore's well done.
I appreciate your work on that as well. David, as a former police officer, is very aware of all things emergency, and he gets our house in order in those areas. I also want to appreciate Dina and Tim getting a framework of the budget. That's a little more clear for lay people like me to understand the numbers, so I'm very grateful for that. Also want to reemphasize what Rick said about the deposits starting in April. We've had a problem where people move, and then by the time they get the bill for our services, because our services are based on the water bill, so you get the water bill first, then you get our bill. By the time our bill gets to someone who's moved out of their home, they're not there to receive the bill, and they often do not pay it. And so we've lost a lot of money this way. So one of the things we're moving toward is a deposit system. So people make a deposit before the services begin, and then if we have to, we will take the last payment out of that deposit and refund the remainder. And if they make that last payment, we will refund the deposit in total. But any other discussions before we move to adjourn?
No.
All right, have a movement to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second motion.
I got a second. All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, nay. And we are dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
A lot of business to cover.
No, it was, wasn't it? It was good.
Okay, to zero, zero, zero.